Assalamu alaikum and hello viewers, researcher. Today I am going to present this new video on how to avoid paper rejection. New researcher, young researcher particularly face a lot of difficulties due to lack of their experience and training in publishing high quality journal papers. Since I have 25 years of research experience, I also published good quality journal papers. So based on that, I'm going to summarize here what are the main reasons basically papers rejected, to give you idea so that you can overcome some of all those challenges, particularly to minimize the rate of rejection. So rejection, whether it is good or bad, let me explain it here. Let me discuss it here. So this is basically part of our life. So sometimes our papers rejected, proposal rejected. We fail in many cases. Okay. It is as we know when our children start to walk, they fail many times before learning how to walk. Same thing in this case, in our publication process also, we need to fail. It is basically not failure. This is a learning process. So many times papers rejected, meaning that there are weaknesses, there are drawbacks. So these need to be improved. These need to be further to make it better. So idea is here, we can't avoid rejection. Even I have so much experience, our papers also rejected. So in one case, editors, reviewers mentioned that you really need to go to school and learn how to write papers, even though we have experience. So these are basically part of our life. Sometimes it is easy to publish, sometimes it is difficult to publish. So we have to accept that this rejection is part of our life. So that's why we never should give up this approach. We always have to put our strong effort so that it can be further improved. So actually the main point is that it is not bad, rejection is not bad. These are the stair. These are the pillar through which we can make ourselves stronger, better. So in a word, this is basically to improve further. So it is not failure, because if it is rejected in one journal, it can be accepted in somewhere else. So in one case, one of my papers were rejected in 7 times. And at the end, we managed to publish it in good quality journal. So meaning that it is not failure. It is a learning process. It is an improvement process. Okay, to improve it further, to make it stronger. And by going through this process, actually, this will make researcher more stronger, more mature. So it is not failure. So in my view, we also know this is also called CQI, continuous quality improvement. Okay, so since there are some challenges, some drawbacks, some deficiencies, those are the things basically reviewers, editors will highlight so that we can address in subsequent papers. And we should not take this as negatively, and we should not give up. We should not stop our this practice of research publication. So we have to accept and we have to adapt our mind. Particularly, we have to accept that, yeah, these are part of our life. We cannot go away with the rejection. Take it positively. So here also, I think this is where researchers also sometimes become, sometimes they lose their patience, sometimes they stop their research. Then at the end, you will fail, because these are bread and butter. These are part and parcel of our research. Okay, to improve ourselves further, to improve our novelties, to improve our writing skill, to improve innovation skill, to support the scientific community. So there are many reasons we really need to publish. You need to be in this domain. So why papers are rejected. So these are brief summary. These are some of the major reasons I have highlighted here. So one of the most important reason, many of you probably know that novelty is very important in high quality journal publications. Editor will be checking it, reviewers will be checking it, your supervisors will be checking it, your collaborators will be checking it. So this is very important criteria you need to address in your paper. So that's why during starting, before preparation, when you are designing projects, so what is the novelty? I think you clearly need to identify. So how to know, identify novelty? I will highlight also. I also push some of the content in LinkedIn and Facebook as well. Another point is the lack of design of the projects. Sometimes parameters are not enough, design is not strong, it is weak, it is not justified appropriately. So design of project, design of experiment is also very important criteria, important elements to make a stronger research work. And as you know, nowadays, the major reason in most cases, actually the paper is rejected due to scope or relevancy, because there are so much scientific submission, all over the world. So as a result, editors try to restrict submission so that they don't face difficulties to identify reviewers. So to avoid that, particularly they introduce this desk rejection by the editor-in-chief. So there are also drawbacks, limitation in this review process as well. But this is one of the approach, one of the ways actually the editor also reject the paper, that is called the desk rejection due to lack of scope or relevancy. So that's why from the very beginning, we know that the paper will be rejected due to scope. So if we pay enough attention, if we read the journal scope and also some of the guidelines I have provided in my YouTube channel. So if you pay attention in all those things, so this I hope that up to certain level can be overcome some of the challenges. Another challenge is that lack of coherency, flow of materials, they are not properly well organized. Sometimes contents are mixed. Okay, so as a result, there will be comments. Paper also can be rejected if the coherency, the flow of material is extremely poor. As many of us are not native English speakers, so we face tremendous difficulties in writing, particularly the English language. So we need to publish in English language journals. So this is one of the major challenges also. Some countries actually, their undergraduate studies are also not in English. So as a result, it is really difficult for them to write a good piece of work. So this is also another challenge. And sometimes language is so poor actually, it will not go through the review process. So this is an important element, and researchers need to improve this language problem. So again, through collaboration and constantly by learning, improving your language capability, actually you can improve your language capability. So when I started my undergraduate research in my university in Buet, actually during the past few months, I was facing extremely difficulties because I studied in my mother tongue in Bengali language. So what I did, since it is an important steps in my life, so I start to learn English by reading the dictionary at that time. So after 1 week, I feel better. And after 1 month, actually I reduced using the dictionary. And after 6 months, I feel more confident. And this is how I learn. And constantly, I'm also learning to improve my language capability, communications capability. So it's not only language, I think the communication skill, the writing skill. So all these are actually very important elements in research. So due to poor writing communication skill, actually papers also rejected. And most importantly, as you can see, the major reasons actually the poor writing. So as you know, a paper contains a title, abstract, introduction, methodology, conclusion. So all those content actually sometimes very poorly written. Necessary elements are not there. Those are not written strongly. So as a result, reviewer will identify challenges, drawbacks, problems, and that will be the causes of rejection. And as a result, as you can see, paper will be rejected many times, sometimes maybe 10 times, sometimes maybe 2 times, 3 times. So these are basically the reasons paper rejected, and this also creates frustration among the researchers. So to avoid this frustration, if you practice some of the points I'm highlighting here, I hope that it can be minimized up to a certain extent. So when papers rejected many times, so certainly this will create frustration. This will create unhappiness among the researchers. So what actually can be done? So one of the approach, I strongly feel that we always should have alternative list of journals. These are our practice. Even we have a long experience, so we have impressive lab, we have collaboration, we have strong team. Despite that, our papers also rejected. So what we do, we keep list of journals in our pocket. So since I'm 25 years of experience, so I know what are the list of journals, where can be published. So that's why those who want to collaborate with us, for my students, basically for our students, basically we know if rejected in one journal, so we always have alternative list of journals because of our experience. But those who are new, maybe you don't know what would be the alternative list of journals. So I am showing you the process. This process actually will help you to identify a list of alternative journals when papers are rejected many times. So this can be done through Web of Science and Scopus list. As you know, these are databases. Okay, through these databases, many analyses can be done. Impact factor, citation, list of journals, collaborators, okay, publications, many things actually can be identified, can be searched through these databases called Web of Science and Scopus list. Okay, these are some tools through which actually you can solve some of your problem. Also, Science Direct is one of the strong database. Actually, you can use that also to identify list of journals in different disciplines. Other publication platforms and publisher, as you know, there are ACL, there are Springer, there are IEEE. So there are many publishers. So you go their publication website, you put your keyword, you put your titles. As a result, you will find list of relevant journals. So let me give a specific example how to search in Scopus. Okay, so Scopus is one of the strongest database through which actually you can identify papers, site score, many other elements. So in the search box, as you can see here, in the document search, so you can search article title, abstract keywords. So in this case, I provided here heat transfer in nanofluids. Let's say this is the title. Okay, so you can put your title here, then click on search. So you can change the title, you know, the fewer words, more words, different way. You put this keyword and search. Click on the search button, and as a result, you will see many things in the actually the Scopus search result. At the back side panel, you will see there are called source title. Source titles basically name of journals, list of journals. So since the space is limited, I just take the snapshot of only this few journals to show you. So as you can see, there are, if you click on source title, there will be many titles. So some of them, as you can see here, one of them I put the heat transfer in nanofluid. So it is heat transfer related. So what are the journal? Okay, International Journal of Heat and Mass Transfer, International Communication. As you can see, appropriately, the findings are provided here. Okay, so there are many journals, and also you can click on them. You can see the site score, and through Web of Science also, you can go and check the impact factor, site score, many other things also you can check for this source title through both this ISI Web of Science and Scopus list. So in your specific field, in your specific title, I think this is the way to identify source titles. You also can put source title or your content in Yahoo, Google, through that also probably you can try. But these are the best approach because scientific journals are listed in these databases. Okay, so another point is that, as you know, we also need to work with the expert. So that can be done by establishing collaboration. Collaboration will not solve only this problem. Many other problems also will be solved, will be able to solve, but I'm not going to talk that more about that. So collaborate with the expert in your specific area. Sorry. Check particularly where they publish. For example, if you explore their Google Scholar profile, in the Google Scholar profile, actually you can see at the top with their affiliation, you can see their expertise. For example, nanomaterials, heat transfer, energy storage. So you can see their expertise. At the same time, also in the list of papers, actually you can see where they publish. Okay, title of the journals, title of their papers. So this also will help you to identify the name of the expert, list of the experts all over the world. Okay, and you can communicate with them because you are new researcher, you are young researcher, you are early career researcher, you have some of the deficiencies. So if you communicate with them, probably they will share. For example, I have some experience when the young researcher invite me when they face difficulties. Certainly, I also work with them, help them, and these are the ways also we are sustaining our research. We are helping others, and they are also helping us. This basically will solve many of our research problems, particularly the young researcher, early career researcher can strengthen their research, can improve their publication capability by working with world-class researcher, top researcher who are working in that specific area because they are already experienced. They have gone through this process. Okay, so here also when you want to communicate with the researcher, I think the communication skill is also very important. Just simply don't write that I want to collaborate with you, I want to work with you. Write very unique features, uniqueness, you know, the uniqueness of your title, uniqueness of your some outstanding contribution. Try to convince because they are also busy. They also will feel that maybe this will be wastage of my time. So you have to convince them. That's why I say that you have to prepare an attractive, comprehensive cover letter, communication, content. So these are again very important things in scientific, in research work. So this is how also I improve. So when I will communicate with someone, I will prepare that strong, very attractive letter. So when I was doing my PhD, actually I was facing difficulties to get some high quality thesis. So then I start to write one of the professor in Canada that I'm working in this area. So your research is very useful, very interesting. So your thesis, thesis of your student is very relevant and it will be useful for me. I don't have access. So if you can send me the thesis, it will be very good. So Alhamdulillah, he was very impressed and he sent me even the CD by postal mail. So I think this communication skill is also very important. Writing skill, communication skill, speaking skill, all these are very, very important for 21st century and also particularly to be a world-class researcher, to be a prolific researcher. Hope this will, you will improve your learning skill, particularly those who does not have proper knowledge on communication skill. So again, the project design, project parameter, design of experiment, what are the variables, what are the input parameters, what are the output parameters. So if these parameters are not properly searched, critically reviewed, critically identified, so this will give an impression of the reviewer that it is not properly designed, some parameters are missing, it is weak, so design is weak, methodology part is weak. So this will be one of the major reasons actually paper will be rejected. So if methodology is poor, faulty, it is not strong, certainly it will not produce good quality data, and there certainly will be comments from the reviewer, editor that the design of your project, design of your paper is not very strong. So be careful with the scope, design of the project, target, because this is also related to the scope. So I think during your design stage, have a look the journal scope, what type of paper they have published, how many papers are already there, how is the content, how depth. So this will give you some ideas actually how to make the design and also the scope within that journals. Okay, if you critically think, if you critically analyze some of their papers, content, so this certainly will be helpful. So this normally some of the researchers does at the end of preparing the documents or paper. I think that is the wrong approach. So you have to think this during your design stage, during your initial stage, to avoid this project design and scope related problem. So this can be done again through critical review of literature. So as you know, the literature has many elements. So this is with the design of your project, experimental or methodology section. So that's why a paper has methodology section, design of experiment, design of parameters. I think that section particularly you read, you identify what are the parameters they have investigated, what are the operating parameters, concentration, time, temperature, okay? Read number of papers, you keep their list, then you make your draft design of experiment, discuss with your supervisor, discuss with the collaborators. Okay? As a result, your design of experiment will be very strong, and this also will be will help you up to a certain extent to address the scope of your paper. So as you know, sometimes papers are rejected by editors, reviewers, which are really not strongly justified, since review process is also sometimes is questionable. So in our case, we also face these difficulties despite having our experience. So I also suggest that rather than giving up, try also to write an appealing letter. This helps in some cases, because reviewer may do a mistake. Editors also sometimes do a mistake because they are also human being. There might be reasons, okay, for in some cases actually this also happens due to some error. So that's why when I feel that these are not a strong justification why our papers are accepted, since I also have experience, since I also have good communication skill by publishing, by communicating with the researcher, and I also learn, how to make this communication, the content strong, comprehensive, effective. So I always try to write in a different way. So that's how I was also successful in some cases, as you can see here. So 2 of our papers were rejected by the reviewers. One was rejected even after addressing reviewer comments. So as you can see, there is a huge pain on us, on my team also, because we have done so much work, 2 times, 3 times, have done additional work. So despite that, reviewers sometimes reject the paper. So the comment were actually, the reviewer comments were not that appropriate. It was not strong. So since I have experience, I strongly feel that these are the wrong ways. So I directly write to the editor-in-chief. So our papers were rejected. So these were the reason. Okay, we felt that evaluation was unfair, and we wrote strong justification letters, as you can see, strong justification letter, okay, to justify how reviewer comments are weak or wrong. Okay, so that is called a strong justification. It is not attacking the reviewer, it is not attacking the editor-in-chief. It is a professional way. We provided strong justification, how our justifications are strong compared to reviewers. As you know, reviewers sometimes maybe weaker than us, but this is the review process, so we have to accept, and the editor has given the power to the reviewer. Okay, but when there are weak reviewers, this is where we take our serious initiatives, not attacking the reviewer, but we respond very professionally. Okay, as you can see, we made very strong justification letters to editor, along with the addressing the comments by the reviewer. Editors accepted our appeal and sent for new review process. So since we have done enough work, our justification is convincing to the editor-in-chief, and at least he sent for the another review process by other reviewers. Alhamdulillah, finally, it was accepted. So this is just simply I'm sharing that never give up, always try that how reviewers are unjustified. Okay, so editors, their role is to play a neutral role, not to support the reviewers, even not to reject the idea of authors. This is why our new researcher, early career researcher are hesitant. So that's why I think the role of senior researcher, experienced researcher need to play the role. This is where I also play the role with my team members when we see these types of comments. many researchers also sometimes write to me also, sir, you see this, I tried my best to address the comments. Despite that, one of the reviewers rejected my papers. So then I give them advice, and they also sometimes get the good news. Hope this also will be useful for in some cases. So another approach nowadays, you can see that there are open access journal already established. In my view, I strongly feel that because top publishers basically reject, the huge number of papers sometimes without proper evaluation process. As you know, the editors are also human beings. They are not perfect. They are not expert on each and every topic. So their evaluation process is also faulty. As a result, even good quality papers are also rejected. So where the authors will publish, I think this is the loophole. Probably, in my view, I feel that the new publishers came out with this open access, very fast publication process with the paid by paying publication charge. So they publish very fast. As a result, this rejected papers goes there. Even when papers are rejected by the editor-in-chief, they mention that these are not due to quality. These are due to scope. Again, these are also questionable. In my case, we tried our best also to address the scope. Despite that, they also reject. So it is not only due to the scope. There are many reasons. I cannot finish talking over here. So as I highlighted, in publication process also, there are pros and cons. There are challenges. So it is not perfect. So this happens, and as a result, they open a door for open access publication. They publish by the publication page charts. It is also very fast process. There are both pros and cons. So we also publish some papers. Particularly, I'm not much interested to publish in open access journal, but some of our collaborators publish, through which I also see get some experience also. It goes through review process. Sometimes I feel the comments are also stronger than all those good quality journal. But sometimes, it is very fast process. Sometimes comments are also not that strong. So of course, it has pros and cons, but at least they maintain the review process. That is, I think, the scientific process they maintain. But again, many people also have concern this review process. And also another point is that, as you know, by paying publication, it can be published. So some researcher has papers, maybe not that good quality, and they don't have enough money, so they invite other authors. So I frequently receive in my LinkedIn inbox, sir, I have a paper, can you support me in publication pictures? Normally I reject all this because I don't like this this process, because by giving them financial support, that is scientifically not correct, appropriate. So in this case, actually, sometimes they invite the people, those who have money, but they don't have expertise. And as a result, they publish. I think there are some unethical process approach there. So that's why many people raise concern. I think they have valid point and issue also. At the same time, I also share that there are also review process. Sometimes we also got good comments from the reviewers. So it has both pros and cons. I think the publisher need to improve the comments made by the scientific community. Okay, so unethical practice also need to be improved here. I think the scientific community need to improve this. The another process is also the fees are very high. So these are also not sustainable for any organization, universities. If all papers need to be published through open access, university research organization actually will be bankrupted. So that's why I strongly suggest that always try with the strong, good quality journals. There are many, actually, the publication platform where you don't need to pay publication fee, pay charge, but sometimes there are challenges. So you keep on trying. So that's why alternative list of journals I have highlighted, that will be one of the solution. So now I'll be focusing on the writing part. As you know, writing part of paper contains title, abstract, keyword, introduction, methodology. So this part I am going to share here. So the first content is the title. Due to title, actually paper will not be rejected, but there will be more comments. So my intention is that when you are going to write a title, you can minimize, you can avoid the comments of reviewers. Okay, so if you address these points, I hope this will minimize the comments. I also have prepared a YouTube content on how to write comprehensive title. Please explore my YouTube channel. This how to write attractive, effective title, abstract. Other contents are also there. But in this presentation, I will focus mainly what are actually the comments reviewer made on the title. Okay, so normally new researcher, young researcher, early career researcher, as they are new, they don't have experience. So they put the title, whatever they like. Okay, they don't think the overall content. So if they think overall content by thinking about the appropriate keywords, this certainly will reflect the content. So sometimes it happens that title does not reflect the content. So you need to really think, critically think. That's why keywords are important. So I have highlighted how to write the title by using keyword, weak keyword, strong keyword. So please practice that. Titles are also sometimes too long, not attractive. As you know, new researcher, young researcher, they write, 3-line sentences. So something concise, something, the confined, short, brief. These things are actually liked by scientific community. Something very long, very, the contains, mathematical jargon, chemical formulas, actually is known only by that types of researcher. We want to entice many researchers. Those are the things actually, the written in science, nature to, for broader audience. Don't write only for a smaller, let's say for a small village people or small confined area. These are basically problem of researcher. When we write something, we write it extremely technical, a lot of mathematical jargon, chemical formula. As a result, other discipline, other researchers may not feel interest, even though some contents may be useful. Okay, so this distract readers. So to avoid that, need to write title that reflect the content. It does not contain, it is not too long, it is not full of jargon, mathematical jargon, chemical formula. So if you avoid this, this will make your title better. So that's why I think you also can explore which titles, which papers are also highly cited. That also will give you some of the impression, some of the guidelines also how to write title. So this I have explained more details how to write an attractive and effective title in my YouTube channel video. The next part is the abstract. Okay, so this is also another important element. So normally in the abstract, the major contents, major comments is actually, it is not structured or balanced. As you know, the abstract has 4 or 5 major elements. So it should contain few sentences, 1 or 2 sentences on background information. It should also contain objectives. It should contain also the methodology, sorry, spelling mistake here. 1 or 2 sentences on the methodology, and particularly there should have some strong findings, conclusions, strong results. Okay, so sometimes your abstract only contains, the background information. Major content is actually background information, or it is only methodology part. It does not contain actually the major results, major findings. Some of the elements, important elements are missing. So these are called not structured, not balanced, and reviewer will say that you did not provide any strong findings. Okay, it does not contain how you conduct the research in a summarized way. Okay, and also the most important element that it does not contain major results or findings. Okay, sometimes also I think it is also good in the title, in the abstract, if you can provide the flavor of novelty. That basically will entice the readers, editors, reviewers to go into the deeper to read your paper. So these are important elements, sometimes highlighted, probably mentioned by the reviewers, editor also. There is nothing highlight of novelty in the abstract. So sometimes you can write it. This is first time this work has been done. So we got 30% improvement compared to available literature. So these are some ways to highlight flavor of the novelties here. Of course, this abstract, it cannot be too much wordy. Okay, so sometimes it also contains emotive terms such as significant. Okay, so it is a scientific paper rather than emotive terms. So better to put percentage value, figures, numbers, appropriate way. Okay, sometimes it is too wordy. Okay, so these are basically some of the content. So I have also written how to write an attractive abstract in my YouTube channel. So for more details, please explore that video. So this is another part I have summarized. I have summarized basically here, as you can see, the main comment. So as you know, novelty is one of the important elements for high quality publication. Reviewers, editors, your supervisors, collaborators always will be looking for this, how strong novelties are. So when we design our project, first of all, we identify what would be our novelties, what new materials, unique behavior, what design parameters will be something different from others. From the very beginning, we design the project so that novelties are there because we are experienced. But when new researchers, they invite me also to work with their paper, So first of all, I ask, what is the novelty? Okay, please write a small paragraph highlighting what is the novelty. Then I see that novelties they mention, there are only limited literature. Nobody use these materials. This is only for this country. So these are very weak. Then I help them also to improve it further. Those which also I shared in the LinkedIn and other social medias. Okay, so these novelties are weak, limited, not very strong, not clearly identified, not written. So in different way, reviewer normally will highlight that. And in most cases, if novelties are not there, editor also will not allow you to submit. Sometimes editor also ask you or give you a chance that, can you highlight the novelty in the cover letter or in the some of the, the submission process, in the introduction, if it is not clear. They give sometimes chances to further improve. Okay, so if novelties are not strong, certainly, the reviewer will go dig out, check, verify, they are also experienced, and certainly paper will be rejected. So one of the main reason actually, this due to lack of novelty. So researchers need to be very careful to address this novelty. How to address novelty strongly, I think I have posted in LinkedIn also, and also I will show you another examples also here. So sometimes there are no latest, relevant enough references. These are also important. So references sometimes not relevant, not latest. All references are 20 years old, the obsolete. So again, this cannot be published through these references, meaning that they don't have enough resources. But now, as you know, again, through the collaboration, when you face this difficulty that you don't have enough databases, you don't have paper, I think collaboration can solve this problem. So that's why collaboration has many purposes, many benefits in scientific research. Sometimes references are not enough, maybe 4 references, 5 references, 10 references. So these are the comments made. Missing elements of overall paper. So that's why I think the keyword is important. So your paper has, let's say, 4 components, 4 parts. So that actually can be confined by the keyword. So you think the keyword, let's say that there are 4 keywords. Based on every keyword, you put all the contents are there. Sometimes without thinking the keyword, major keyword, you provided the contents, maybe addressing only 2 major elements. Okay, another 2 major elements are not provided. So these are actually the missing elements. You did not think properly with the whole content of the paper. So it is partially addressed. Your introduction part is partially addressed. So 2 of the key important elements are not addressed. So since the reviewer are experienced, certainly they will give comment that some of the elements, some of the contents are not given here. It's not enough. So as you know, the introduction should also contain the objectives, aim, purpose, goal. So when there is no specific objectives, that's why I also will highlight how to write objectives. These are also in my original paper writing in my YouTube channel also. So explore how to write objectives in a comprehensive way, in a smart way. Okay, achievable, measurable, attainable, all those way. Please need to address all those appropriately. Lack of critical review of literature, as you know, the introduction also needs support from literature. So this should be also critically reviewed. So these are also the new researcher, young researcher, always try to highlight that positive findings, good findings. That is not critical review of literature. Okay, through this critical review of literature also, you can identify novelties. What are the drawbacks? What are the challenges? What are the arguments? What are the deficiencies? What are the contradictions? Okay, so I also have addressed this in my how to write comprehensive review paper. So I have explained in details how to critically review the literature. So this critical review of literature is not only for writing paper, I think for thesis, for proposal, for report. In many cases, I think that is important. What is the meaning of critical review of literature? So As you know, through this, basically, you can identify novelties and who has done what. This also need to be done. This is also support. So sometimes reviewer also will highlight that there is no critical review of literature. Of course, the language, as you know, we are not native English speakers. So this is one of the major challenge, drawbacks. So again, your supervisors there, your team members there, other co-authors there. So these are also the some of the reasons we need collaboration. You know, so when I was working, sometimes editors, reviewer also made comment that your English need to be improved. So we tried our best. Even with that, also some reviewer is very specific. They want the native English speaker. In that case, we also invite a native English speaker with some technical other contribution as well. Okay, so these are the ways, and also I think the proofreading by paying the fees also, I think you can improve this. Okay. Sometimes like abstract, I think the introduction part also not structured. As you know, it should have few paragraph or some content on background information, aim, purpose, importance, objective. So if you subdivide your whole content in this way, this will make your introduction part also in a structured way. And certainly you can avoid the comments of the reviewers that it is not structured. Okay, necessary elements are not there. So how to address novelties? As you know, the novelties can be can vary. It can be zero. It can be useful. It can be marginal. It can be extremely high, strong. That is how actually if it is breakthrough, that can be published in Science, Nature, top-notch journal. If it is up to Q1 level, if it is marginal, so that actually will define where this can be published. So if it is none, it will be very hard for you to publish even in conference paper as well. Okay, so basically, if you read the introduction part of original paper, they are actually that they have done some critical review of literature. They have studied others' work. Through this, basically, you can identify some of the research gaps there. Basically, they highlighted that these are the challenges. So you can pick some of the work, some of the research gap, and then probably you can focus on that to design your experiment. So you also can read the user recommendation part of your review article. As you know, that this is one of the purpose in user direction of the review paper actually highlighted what are the lacking, what are the deficiencies, what need to be done. So you pick from there, you design some of the parameters from there. This will help you to address that novelty. As you know, your supervisors, collaborators, those who are highly experienced, I think if you discuss with them, if you share with them, certainly it will help you to improve. So that's how we do our research, how we address our novelty in our case. So we don't design any project without strong novelty from the very beginning. So these are the ways actually how to address. As you know, sometimes you just write it is there are only limited literature. Nobody has done this work. This material is not applied. Nobody used in this country. I think those are very weak, not proper. So to do that, actually, that's why you need to do the critical review of literature. That's why as you can see from references 22, 23, this and 28, 29, these references were studied and found that there are some deficiencies. What are the deficiencies? Okay, so as you can see, these are 3 bullets I have highlighted here. So there are exergy efficiency lacking. Nobody has done on it. Our efficiency improvement is 50% compared to literature. And there were problems with the stability. So actually, this was the comments of a editor-in-chief of one of our paper. And when I addressed this in consultation with my team member, with my students, and it went through review process. And also I have shared, I think, recently in LinkedIn also, how to address novelty through critical review of literature through a comprehensive table. So as you know, the methodology part is also very important. So it can be faulty. It is not robust. You know, some of the parameters are not properly identified. It is not strong. It is not the details of the experimental designs. Parameters are not there. As you can see here, proper flow of methodology is not there. I mean, the objectives are not linked with the methodology. This is where the flow of materials, coherency is also involved. That's why I brought this organization chart. Sometimes they are not coherent, you know, so you put wherever you like, here and there. It is mixed. It is not, properly, well organized. So these are basically the comments. Poor language again. Why you use this method? Why this standard process? Who use this? Many people already use this. Let's say this. What is called the Tempus thermal conductivity meter. Many people already use for heat transfer fluids, thermal conductivity measurement, so that actually justifies. So each and every details of methodology should be there. So this figure actually will help you to address the coherency, well organization. As you know, if you have title, you have objectives. So now you design your method according to your objective number 1, 2, and 3. This basically will make your paper well organized, coherent, and this also will avoid the comments from the reviewer that paper is not well organized, not coherent. So this is again is coherency organization. I also have explained in writing original paper in my YouTube channel. Please explore and go through that YouTube channel, that content for more details. I have explained extensively for each and every details of this methodology part. So result and discussion, this is very important element. So normally young researcher, early career researcher face a lot of difficulties. They just want to explain the trends, okay, increasing, decreasing. Since this is a scientific publication, this is science, this is engineering, this is technology. So you need to provide strong reasoning phenomena. That is called critical discussion, comparison, validation, reasoning phenomena. So when you will not have these things, certainly reviewer will make comments and paper also will be weak. So this makes paper also very, very strong. So that's why these are very strong elements. These are called critical discussion, interpretation, comparison, mechanism, validation. Okay, so you may have computational work. So through literature, through experimental work, you validated the work, you compare their work, your work, how accurate, how the differences, 5%, 10%. So these are very important elements and very strong elements actually to address the result and discussion part to make it very, very strong. So when you will have this lacking, certainly your paper cannot be published. If just that you are putting the fluctuation, increasing, decreasing, that will be up to undergraduate level. So higher level of publication, higher level of attributes or high quality journal publication, actually, this should be as strong as possible. Again, follow some good quality paper, good model paper. Okay, so you follow how they have discussed, how they have explained. So sometimes maybe you can use TMMS, FISMMS. You see the structure, you link with this critical phenomena, improvement phenomena, fluctuation phenomena. That will make your result and discussion very, very strong. Again, here also the no coherency, meaning that you put, some results should be fast, but you provided literature results fast. That's not appropriate. First, you present your own results, then you bring the others' result, and also. Sometimes you put also methodology part here, so it is not well organized, it's mixed. Okay, so that is called no coherency here as well, mixed with the methodology and other parts. So new researcher normally sometimes does not know methodology is actually to produce the data. That is the question of how method. So this is result and discussion. Results are data, tables, figures, and then you need to discuss, interpret. How you produce the data, how you generate data, it should not be here. It should be at the specific section at the methodology. So this happens. Sometimes mathematical model is brought into the result and discussion section. Sometimes statistical analysis is brought here. Again, it is mixed up, and as a result, reviewer will also give comment that it is not. It is a mixed with the method and result and discussion. It is not well organized. It is not coherent due to this methodology part. Again, this is the writing part, so core language is everywhere. So it is in title, it is in abstract, it is in methodology, everywhere. So that's why language improvement, improving language, learning language, actually very, very important. So if you want to be a prolific researcher, I think you certainly need to improve this, as how I improve myself also. Poor presentation, as you know, the figures, tables are sometimes, the very poor qualities cannot be seen. Sometimes you take a figure where you should have only necessary equipment, things, but there are somebody behind your figure. So certainly the reviewer will ask, what is the purpose of that? That somebody is behind you. Some other unnecessary elements. So these are called the quality. So the presentation, all these things also need to be improved. Okay, sometimes so many figures you put there, so many tables you put there. So these are not proper way of presenting the whole content. Novelty is not highlighted in the results, as your main goal is to do some different work, novel work. So how is it novelty? Let's say you have developed a cheap materials which cost is 20% lower than available literature. Efficiency improved by 30%. this is first time has been done. So these are the results. Through the result, you have to prove here, you have to show here. You mentioned that this is the novelty. We have to prove it is in the result and discussion section, but sometimes it's not highlighted. So again, the reviewer will say, where is the novelty? Where is the results in terms of novelty? Certainly they will ask the question, and if it is not there, and due to the lack of novelty, again the paper, there will be huge comments and it might be rejected also. Not enough results, sometimes you may not have enough data, you also don't know, you have not provided, you have not studied literature critically, others paper appropriately. As a result, you provide only few data, figures, tables. So as you know, it is so highly competitive, so difficult to publish. So if you only provide, few data tables and figures, not enough discussion, certainly you cannot go through. Certainly the editor will reject at the desk. As you know, to make result discussion very strong, sometimes what are the mechanism behind the improvement process? It is fluctuating the results, it is increasing, that you reduce the cost. So you got some fantastic results. So what is the mechanism behind? Okay, so through TEM, FISM, characterization equipment, through some schematic diagram, so through some mathematical model, so molecular dynamic simulation, computational analysis, MATLAB, try to show some mechanism. Certainly this will make your result very, very strong. Okay, and also there are, the statistical analyses are missing to show the robustness, strength of your results. Okay, error bar, all those statistical analyses are not there. Certainly the reviewer will say that we don't know the strength of the results. Okay, so there is no statistical analysis. So this way result and discussion can be made very, very strong, and there will be more chances, better chances for your paper to be accepted. So conclusion, this is a small part. Sometimes again, these are very weak, so it's not appropriately written, one or two sentences only, one or two bullets only, very weak. Again, so you have a look, some good, strong paper, particularly the strong conclusion part. Sometimes you'll see there are some weak conclusion even published in papers also, but you have a look which paper which has very strong conclusion. That will guide you, that will be a good model for you. So that's why I think the objectives are important. Now is the conclusion is basically the achievement of your objectives. So conclusion, as you have, maybe you have 4 objectives, now you have addressed only 2 of the objectives. So 2 of the objectives are not achieved in the conclusion. So it is partially achieved. Certainly the reviewer will give the comment that we don't see any conclusion for the other 2 objectives. So it does not tally with the objectives. So objectives are not achieved. So that might be the reason also the conclusion is weak. So conclusion actually should be the concrete findings, major findings, summaries. Actually, sometimes, you may not have enough finding summaries. So this again will make the conclusion weak. This also should have some future recommendations, some strong future recommendation also should be there. But due to this paper will not be rejected, they will give some comments. Okay, so as you know, I have created this YouTube channel. So for your benefit, I have almost 20 videos on writing, how to improve writing, research grant proposal, how to write review paper, original paper, research with limited resources, research strategy for early career researcher. So I'm constantly uploading the videos every week. I am also engaged in social media, particularly to help young researcher, early career researcher, using my 25 years of experience, and also I have some analytical skill. As you know, I have access of Scopus, Web of Science through Lancaster University database, as I'm part of Lancaster University. So through that database, actually, I can analyze and I can share with you all those analyses. So be engaged with my social media and this YouTube channel, so that you can learn, you can improve. Okay, at the same time, you can share also all this to others, so that the scientific communities are benefited through my effort and your effort. Okay, with that, I would like to conclude. Thank you again for watching, for your time. I hope with this, you will be able to minimize the comments made by the reviewers, and chances of acceptance will be better, inshallah. Okay, assalamu alaikum and hello, thank you. May Almighty bless us all.